Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Into the Stratusphere. I'm your girl, Cindy G here, and I just wanted to ask everybody in the Bulletcast Nation, how are you guys doing? Now, today, I'm recording this on a Friday morning. The podcast is already up on a Saturday morning, which, by the time of the recording, the ballot is still counted. And there's no results yet of who is going to be the next leader of this nation. I know there has been a lot of drama going on, like, after the election because of this whole, like, stupid conspiracy theory, which don't come at me for it, or, like, any other biased to unbiased viewpoint about, like, how come they're taking so long to count the ballots. And I just heard just now that the state of Georgia is going to recount their ballots per request of the Secretary of State or something like that. This is why the name of the episode 14, Hot Mess, is actually happening. And yes, that is a hot mess right now because the notification for the DDP yoga is already been ringing up. So, yeah. There you go. I kind of like set you guys a little bit of a mood booster to it. But I do want to say this. So I did address it on the last episode of Into the Stratosphere that I did volunteer to be a poll worker on election day. I did post a video on Instagram, which you guys can check it out on Instagram TV on my personal page, where I did explain the reason why I decided to volunteer. But also, I did express my concern of what's going to be happening afterwards if there is a 100% result of who is the next president of the United States. So as of now, there is no report of who is the next leader by the time of the recording of the podcast. But I'm pretty sure that next week we will have the results of who is the next leader. And I'll give a little bit of my thoughts about it too. I just want to say this. As a person who serves this country, helping the citizen and first-time voters getting their ballots counted, from myself, from everybody, we did our best that we could to make sure you guys' ballots did come in, making sure you guys got voted, and also getting the free I voted sticker and also a free disposable pen as well because we're still in the pandemic. But I digress on it. But we wanted to make sure that we tried our best to get everything like counted for and also send to the county to the counting station somewhere, like I believe it was somewhere in a government official building too, within each of the counties and states alike. So my hat goes off to everybody that works on election day, whether you're a poll worker of different positions, to the counters, also people working in the county office and the state offices. My hat goes off to you guys. And I wanted to say this to everybody that sent me messages of your kind words and also words of encouragement. I really appreciate it a lot, you guys. And it really means a lot to me that you guys back me up no matter what. Especially you guys do care, just making sure that like I'll be okay. How's it going? And that's why I provided so much update as much as I can on Instagram and a little bit on Twitter, but not too much too. I haven't been on Twitter as much as I was because of what's going to happen, especially we're still in the drama of this whole the results of still being counted. But we tried our best as we could, especially for everyone. And I just want to say this, and I always say it during the ending of this podcast, please remember to be kind of one another. We're all in this together. And we got to continue on to stay together no matter what the circumstances and no matter what the outcome is. So I'm going to leave it at that, Bulletcast Nations. And again, much appreciated for your kind words and also the sweet messages you guys just sent out. And also, again, for anyone that did volunteer on election day, whether you're a poll worker or a counter, counting the ballots, you guys have my utter respect. And of course, we are all heroes as a whole. With that being said, episode 14, Hot Mess. That's right. So that's kind of like a fitting of the name of the episode of this current state at this moment. But anyway, on to today's episode of Into the Stratusphere. We'll definitely talk about some typical news headlines, especially about Kylie Rae's shocking announcements to the status of Allison K's status with NWA, you could say so. Also, update about EC3 and also Alex Zayne as well. And especially there has been an announcement I just found out just now is regarding The Undertaker. Plus, results from New Japan Pro Wrestling Power Struggle Tour took place on Sunday, November 1st and on Monday, November 2nd. Also, their announcement for the participant of the Best of the Super Junior 27 and a surprising update for New Japan Pro Wrestling America, of course. Plus, recap for Impact Wrestling and also my prediction for AEW's Full Gear because, yes, I am challenging Baby Huey for the Bulletcast title. Well, pretty much me, Philip, and Brandon, of course. Which, good luck, gentlemen. Y'all gonna be needing it. I'm just saying. Okay, y'all. With that being said, let's go ahead and start with some news headlines. So as I stated before in the beginning, we got some updated news regarding Impact Wrestling star Kylie Rae. And this is a very shocking news pretty much for everybody, including yours truly. So on Monday, November 2nd, Kylie Rae did announce on her Patreon page that she is feeling really unwell and she apologized for everybody that causes a pain because of she's feeling unwell, especially for her mental state. So she did state it, and I quote, "I wanted to take this time to say I am no longer a professional wrestler and am currently taking a break from social media. It's been a very hard decision to make, but please understand. When I am well, I will try to fulfill any obligation that I have missed. During this time, most tiers will not be able to be fulfilled. Please feel free to unsubscribe from this membership. Thank you for your understanding," with a heart emoji. That is right, you guys. So it's been official. Kylie Rae is done with wrestling. So pretty much she is done with Impact Wrestling, she is done with independent wrestling, and she's pretty much done with wrestling in general too. I know Kylie Rae has been open up about her struggle with her mental health, which she did say that on the past episode of the Chris Van Fleet show, where she's been struggling so much with her mental health and how she is battling for it too. And now it looks like it's taking a much toll on her end. So whenever circumstances that's happening with Kylie Rae, I hope that she's getting the help that she needed. And especially when it comes to mental health, it is a struggle. Especially yours truly has been struggling with mental health for pretty much almost her whole life. And I'm still struggling with mental health here and there, but I always make sure to take proper precaution and be cautious of my thought process. So I wanted to give mad love to Kylie Rae for just making sure that she was very aware about her mental state and she's actually taking as much needed break from everything she's going through. And it's really sad that she is no longer a professional wrestler. I mean, she is kind of like the rising star. Even we were expecting that she is going to be one of the top stars in AEW, especially with her performances at last year's Double or Nothing, and now that she left and came back, but signed with Impact Wrestling, and we thought that she's going to be the next Knockouts champion for Impact Wrestling. So it looks like whatever circumstances that's happening, I'm pretty sure that she's going to be finding peace within herself and also making sure that she is very well. So, sending you my love, my prayers, and best wishes to Kylie Rae. We all love you so much, and hopefully you'll come back as the smiley Kylie Rae, as we all know, especially bringing in like a very bubbly personality that we all witness on television or like live shows. We will definitely miss you, Kylie Rae, and be well. Alrighty, you guys, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next headline that's right here. So, on Election Day, November 3rd, former NWA Women's Champion, who was in Impact Wrestling, Allison K did announce on Twitter that she is officially a free agent. So she did make a statement on Twitter that she stated that as of today, I am officially a free agent. Thank you to the NWA for the opportunities, which include one of my favorite matches of my career. I'm open for indie bookings and appearances. Let's get weird. AK. So that's pretty much a shocker for everyone because like Allison K has been heavily promoted with NWA, especially she was participating with the NWA Carneyland, which was kind of like a little bit outlandish, but she did like her segment of like promo 101 work, and she's been faithful to the brand, especially being the NWA Women's Champion before she lost to Thunder Rosa. I believe the pay-per-view was Hard Times, not Hard to Kill, but usual Cindy G. Hey, I'm actually bringing the mood to you guys also, despite the craziness of this week, but digress on it. So hard times, which I believe I got it correct. If not, yeah, it's been a while, you guys. I mean, it's been a crazy year, but yeah. So I'm very excited what's going to be next for her. However, with that being said of the announcement, so the next day, Allison K has a wrestling match. That is right. So it's been announced that because they bump up a certain match for the buy-in, she's actually going to be challenging current NWA Women's Champion Serena Deebs for the NWA Women's Champion at AEW's Full Gear. That was a most shocker of the day that I found out, especially like everybody was on edge on Wednesday, like knowing what's the results for the election. But when I saw the graphic, I was so shocked and I'm so happy. I'm like so ready for this, especially for this match. But I'm not going to say it as much because that's where the prediction is going to be happening right after I do the recap of Impact Wrestling. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So I'm happy that Allison K is getting her opportunity she needed, and she's actually going to be doing a lot more like work that she can get. So I'm excited for her and wishing Allison K nothing but the best of luck. So we'll see what's up. But like I said, after the Impact recap, prediction for AEW's Full Gear. Yeah, because, I'm in a mood to get that Bullet Cast title, especially that new gorgeous title. Yeah. Just saying. So watch out, Huey. Anyway, so next up on the news you have is, of course, an update regarding EC3. So Fightful Select has been giving an update regarding EC3. So on that situation, that EC3, who used to wrestle in WWE, is no longer with Impact Wrestling for now. And the status is currently unknown whether he's going to be coming back to Impact Wrestling for the foreseeable future. But however, he's not taking a break. He's actually going to be getting ready to debut at the end of the year for Ring of Honor. So if you guys saw that pretty interesting video package from EC3 that of his promotion, of the promotion that is actually Ring of Honor, which that's right, he's going to get ready to debut sometime soon. So I'm pretty excited, especially he's actually going to be continuing on with his this whole controlling the narrative gimmick, and the fact that he has, of course, still his his like followers wearing the EC3 hoodie with the scratch 3 on it. So I think this is going to be it. Like, we saw the preview of, more in depth of his gimmick at Bound for Glory. So I feel that, and especially his theme song that actually played it for his Ring of Honor theme song. So I think this is going to be it too. So I know he's going to be doing well. But hey, never say never if we're going to be seeing EC3 back again, and especially controlling the narrative. So there's the update about EC3. And also semi-last, because there is another last news headline that broke just, an hour ago, I found out on a Friday morning. So, GCW just announced that Alex Zayne is going to be having his final independent match. That is right. And it is also confirmed that, yes, Alex Zayne is going to be done with independent wrestling. So, according to Fightful Select, rumor has it that independent wrestling star who also wrestled for New Japan Strong, for New Japan Pro Wrestling US of A, rumor that is reporting that WWE has an interest in Alex Zayne. WWE sources did confirm as of a few weeks ago that there was an interest in him, but there is a confirmation whether he signs a deal. It is also noted that Zayne impressed some people in New Japan Pro Wrestling for his appearance on New Japan Strong, and especially for his performance. So it looks like there's not a full-fledged confirmed, but I know that WWE has like a very strong interest in Alex Zayne too. And like whatever promotion he'll go, everybody will be very happy for him, even though, a lot of people can be very critical when it comes to, certain promotion of, why this wrestler signed to this company. Oh, they're going to get buried. They're going to get their name changed, their gimmick changed, or look what happened. It's all about what makes the wrestlers happy. And I feel that whatever they're chasing their dreams, especially for their longevity of their career, it would be best for just themselves. Especially, I know there's, a lot of people amongst the circles, and also behind social media can be very critical, but yeah. So whenever Alex Zayne goes, I'm wishing him nothing but the best of luck, and hopefully everybody will be tuning in to see which promotion he'll become. So his final independent wrestling match, he'll have a match against Tony Deppen on tomorrow, which is Sunday, November 8th. For GCW Presents So Much Fun will be taking place in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So yeah, you guys, so I suggest check out GCW on Fight TV to order it, to check his final appearance and his final independent wrestling show. So Alex Zayne, wanted to wish you nothing but the best of luck, and wherever you go, we will always make sure to go behind. Anyway, so last of the wrestling news. So it has been announced, from WWE. Man, somewhat rare for me to talk about WWE nowadays. So it's been confirmed that Undertaker is going to have his final match set in Survivor Series. So on November 6, 2020, WWE confirmed that Undertaker's final farewell will take place at Survivor Series on Sunday, November 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern, streaming live around the world for the WWE Network, capping off the Phenom's legendary 30-year career. So it looks like Undertaker is going to be having his retirement match set for Survivor Series, which I know that it's still going to be at the same location where they do the Thunderdomes or whatever. Like I said, I don't follow WWE, but I think now everybody's going to be seeing the last of the final match. So I know WWE is starting to set up the build-up for Survivor Series. So now having Undertaker, and who knows who's going to be his opponent for Survivor Series, but who knows. But it all comes down to it, who will be the next challenger or whatnot. But we'll see what's going to happen. So it is exciting. I know Philip and Brandon will be going in depth on their next podcast where they talk about doing their usual recaps and wrestling news headlines. And that's going to be right after AEW's Full Gear recap. So I just wanted to make sure you guys, so that way there's no confusion of the schedule. So Into the Stratusphere and AEW Full Gear's recap from Philip maybe Brandon and yours truly, or who knows, and also their shows, and then of course all that. So, all right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be hearing from Brandon of Curveballs and Chair Shots.
What's up, everyone? It's Brandon. If you love sports and wrestling like I do, then check out my other podcast, Curveballs and Chair Shots. Every Friday, me and my illustrious co-host Dominic Hobson talk the biggest news from the MLB, NFL, NBA, and so much more. We also cover some things we don't talk about here on the Bulletcast, including a weekly NXT recap. You can listen to Curveballs and Chair Shots wherever you get your podcast. Just simply search Curveballs and Chair Shots. Now let's get back to the show.
Alright, you guys, and we are back. So let's go ahead and segue into New Japan Pro Wrestling. So as you guys know that I will not be doing the recap for the New Japan Strong for, of course, tonight on Friday. That's going to be on the next episode of Into the Stratusphere, y'all. So with that being said, let's go ahead and kick off with the results for the New Japan Pro Wrestling Power Struggle Tour that took place on Sunday, November 1st. So for the English commentary, it's just Kevin Kelly. And for the Japanese commentary, you have is Milano Collection 18, and of course, Shingo Takagi. So for your results right here, you have is Yuya Uemura versus Yota Tsuji, which is your usual opening of the match of the New Japan Pro Wrestling Young Lions, where Uemura defeated Tsuji with a Northern Lights suplex, and it was pretty much a decent match with like mostly technical showcasing match, and especially like some exchanges back and forth. All right, and then you have is the next match right here. You have is representing Chaos, Toru Yano, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto versus representing Suzuki-gun, Taiji, Zack Sabre Jr., and Doki. And pretty much it's just everybody beating the hell out of each other, especially the fact that there's a lot of rivalry going on. But it was a very impressive and yet entertaining match, especially the face-off between Zack Sabre Jr. and Yano, of course. And it was like kind of like my favorite part of the match as well. Especially like there has been a lot of rivalry going on with Yano and Zack Sabre Jr. and of course Dangerous Tekker with Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto, of course, and then Doki just being in the middle, especially the aftermath of what happened of the main event of the last of the Power Struggle Tour, you know, for the Never 6-man tag team title match, of course, where Chaos did retain. Anyway, you guys, so at the end, Chaos did defeat Suzuki-gun, where Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi did the GYR finisher, and Goto pinned Doki, and afterwards, Suzuki-gun did straight up attack them right away until Yano did make a save and then actually hit them with the usual turnbuckle pad. That's kind of like his shtick to it. And then Hiroki Goto did the GYR to Doki, of course, and that's when, like, afterwards, Taiji was really upset. He did push off referee Kenta Sato in a really upsetting move because, of course, he did lost the match. And that's where Shingo Takagi did stand up and give them a dead stare to make sure, even though he is not part of the Chaos stable, but you know how much he really dislikes Suzuki-gun because he's actually having a huge beef with the current Never Openweight champion, Minoru Suzuki, which is their leader, of course. Anyway, let's move on here. So, you have is the team of Kazuchika Okada Kazuchika Okada and Gabriel Kidd versus Empire. Yeah, not much to say. And so you have is Empire defeated Okada and Kidd with Great Okan doing his finisher to Gabriel Kidd. And then you have is Bullet Club, which you have is Jay White, Kenta, and the returning, the crown jewel, Chase Owens with Gedo versus the team of Golden Aces and Tomoki Homa, which I wanted to give much respect to Chase Owens. He actually has a tape wristband that said, "Rest in peace, Tracy," in honor of the recent passing of one of the legends in pro wrestling, Tracy Smother, who passed away at the age of 58 after battling with cancer, as I stated in the last episode of Into the Stratosphere, and I know Philip and Brandon did touch base on it as well, so I wanted to give mad respect to him, and I know he did give a lot of dedication during this match for his honor too. So mad respect to Chase on it. So anyway, the match was pretty decent for it. So you have is of course the intro, the impromptu of the New Japan Pro Wrestling Konkuso, which is like a bodybuilding whatever. So they just needed to cut that off a bit. I know Jay White has the abs, Tanahashi has the abs, Kenta has the abs. We get it now. Especially from a female perspective, but I digress on that. That's another time. Anyway, so yeah, the match was pretty good, especially like everybody was like facing out amongst each other. Especially you have like Golden Aces and Homa did the headbutt in stereo called the three-headed monster to Chase Owens, and that's where of course I think it was Homa did trying to pin Chase, but of course ends in a 2 count. And of course, yeah, typical Gato providing the distraction as Jay White grabbed the briefcase, but of course did counter by Homa. And of course, Kenta grabbed his briefcase, but then Tanahashi got it just to make sure. And unfortunately, Bullet Club did defeat a Team Babyface unit by Chase Owens with the package pile driver to Hona and pick up the victory. So, and that is like a pretty sweet tribute for Chase, you know, in honor of like his mentor that passed, to dedicating the match for it. But at least it's a great to see Chase Owens back in Japan, of course, after being quarantined for 14 days. So yeah, excited for what's next. And I know Jay did attack Suzuki, and Umar is trying to make a save, but then of course Jay did knock him out. So yeah, which I'll talk about on the next result of the day after the Power Starter Tour. But yeah. Anyway, you guys, so next up you have is Tatsuya Naito and Sanada versus Evil and Yujiro Takahashi with Dick Togo. Not much to say. This is like your typical like rivalry going on between Bullet Club and LIJ, mainly with Naito and Evil. As you guys know, this morning they just had a match for the double champion, the IWGP Intercontinental and the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, which again, I'm going to cover the finals of the Power Struggle Tour finale on the next episode, Into the Stratusphere, in depth of a little bit of the show, but we'll see what's going on. But anyway, so yeah, it's pretty much like your typical back and forth action. I know a lot of people are giving criticism a little bit about Evil and Naito's rivalry seems to be mundane and bland, but it's starting to build it up a bit too, because it's like story of a betrayal. And unfortunately, Evil and Naito did try to strike each other until Dick Togo did use his rope to strangle Naito, and that's when Red Shoe Umino did call off the match, ending in a DQ, and that's right after Evil did push Red Shoe Umino outside of the ring. So there you go. And then afterwards, Evil did try to strike Naito with the IWGP Heavyweight Championship belt, and then he did the Everything is Evil finisher. So yeah, he kind of like brutally beat the holy hell out of Naito after the DQ though, and so they left. Shingo Takagi did left the commentary booth to check in on Naito, make sure he is okay and whatnot. So that shows like loyalty for the stable. Anyway, for your main event match, you have is the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championship match, which you have the current champ Suzuki-gun, consists of El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru versus LIJ, consists of Hiromu Takahashi and Bushi. And pretty much that match itself was like a heavy, brutal hitting match in the making. Especially they have that rematch ever since like the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championship Tournament finale. That was like pretty heavy hitting too. But I feel this main event match was somewhat a bit better, but not better than like what they have their match facing off for the vacant title. So it is pretty much like a lot of like heavy hitting moveset, a lot of like impressive high flying action too. So you have Bushi with a tope suicida transition to a hurricanrana to El Desperado outside of the ring. So this is like really impressive. And of course, you have is El Desperado did counter Bushi's top rope dive as he used the Pinche Loco to pick up the victory. And of course, Suzuki-gun did retain the title. And of course, afterwards, like, you have his El Desperado giving, like, a very sinister speech. Like, he laughs so much, it's, like, a bit creepy, but hey, that fits his gimmick. He is the hooligan luchador, of course. And so he did kind of, like, talk a little bit about the best of the Super Junior tournament coming up and see if, like, him or Kanemaru will be the next winner of it. So yeah, you guys, so there you have it. It's the November 1st Power Struggle Tour. I was very impressed of the matchup for it too. I was kind of not a fan of the DQ finish from the Naito, Sonata versus Evil, and Yujiro kind of bit, you know. So for that, thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm giving it a 1 thumbs up. The main event actually made a save no matter what. And now let's going to go to the Monday, November 2nd, New Japan Pro Wrestling Power Struggle Tour. Of course, the announcement of the Best of Super Junior participated and a show coming up for New Japan Cup America. But let's go ahead with that recap. So anyway, so you have, of course, the usual commentary for the English commentary, Kevin Kelly, and then the Japanese commentary, the usual, Milano Collection AT, Milano, and special guest, Toru Yano, of course, promoting his merchandise with a QR code, which it led to a freaking sticker app, which, of course, yours truly did fall for that QR code. Anyway, so you have is your opening of the match. You have is your typical New Japan Pro Wrestling Young Lions match where Yota Tsuji is facing off against Gabriel Kidd. It's kind of like pretty much a brutal, hard, heavy-hitting match. And of course, Gabriel Kidd did defeat Tsuji with a roll-up after Tsuji did a sunset flip and then Kidd counter. So yeah, it was a pretty decent like opening of the match. And of course, you have it's a team of Kazuchika Okada and Yuya Uemura versus the Empire. Of course, did not watch a match. Again, obvious reason, as I stated in the past. And of course, Great Khan did pin Uemura. Therefore, Empire did pick up the victory. So, and then of course, I heard there was a brief face-off between Great Khan and Okada because I know they already faced each other for the Power Struggle Tour finale, so looking forward to that as well. And then you have is a 6-man tag team match, which you have is representing LIJ, what the hell? LIJ! Hamaru Takahashi, Bushi, and Shingo Takagi versus Suzuki-gun, Minoru Suzuki, El Desperado, and Yoshinori Kanemaru. To quote Lovely T, honey, that match was a very brutal AF of a match, you guys. Like, Suzuki-gun wasted no time to start beating the hell out of each other, especially with Shingo Takagi and Minoru Suzuki, which they almost killed each other, like, outside of the ring and onwards. So, I was, like, a pretty heavy-hitting match, especially there's, like, a lot of revenge, of course, where of course, like, Hamaru and Bushi did lost the match to El Desperado and Kanemaru on the main event match for the IWGP Junior Tag Team Champion. And it's kind of like a retribution to it too. So at the end, Shingo Takagi did the last of the dragon to Kanemaru to pin Kanemaru and pick up the victory. So LIJ did defeat Suzuki-gun, and afterwards, Minoru wasted no time to attack Takagi, did the pile driver, and then a Boston Crab to him until Tsuji and Gabriel Kidd trying to break it up, but Minoru did punch both guys, and then he did the single-legged crab as Takagi was like agony, tagging out, and then afterwards, of course, Minoru Suzuki standing tall. So as you guys know, Minoru Suzuki and Shingo Takagi is facing each other for the Never Openweight Championship for the Power Struggle Tour finale. So this kind of like a rematch of a revenge in the making, you guys. And then you have is Bullet Club, which is Jay White, Kenta, and Chase Owens with Gato versus the team of Golden Aces and Tomoki Homa, of course. And of course, right prior to Team Babyface is coming out, Jay White poured Jay White actually bullied the hell out of Yota Tsuji because the fact that Tsuji is very loyal to Hiroshi Tanahashi, and so Jay was kind of like giving him so much crap and like bullying the hell out of him, especially you have Chase and Kenta and Gedo right behind him too. So yeah, and so right when Team Babyfaces came out, did the usual ring introduction, Jay was forcing Tsuji to do the too sweet, which Tsuji, in fear, refuses until Jay kind of like beat him lightly and then kick him outside of the ring, like throwing him off. So that was kind of like, yeah, Jay is not forced to wrestling, especially he had the whole like agony for Kota Ibushi, especially for that briefcase that Ibushi won at the G1 Climax final. So anyway, so the match, usual back and forth action, a lot of defensives going on with both teams, especially a lot of briefcase usage too. Like, couldn't expect it to it, but yeah. So anyway, right at the end, Jay did the Blade Runner to Tomoki Homa and pick up the victory. So Bullet Club defeated Team Babyface, and afterwards Jay did grab Ibushi's briefcase where he kind of like trying to play along, like he's taking that briefcase off from him. And while Chase Owens, which mad respect to him again, he did wear the wrist tape that said Tracy rest in peace, so mad respect to honor his mentor. Also, the fact that Chase Owens did actually taunt Yano. So pretty much some of the Bullet Club member did actually taunt Yano, where Yano was kind of like, didn't give a crap about it, even though he really don't like Bullet Club. But especially with Chase Owens, he's trying to target Yano for that Provisional King of Pro Wrestling 2020 trophy too. And while that, Jay did hit Ibushi with the briefcase, and Kenta, what was Kenta thinking? Kenta hit Tanahashi with his fragile, broken, busted briefcase, which is 100% busted now. Like, no joke. Big cracks and everything. He should know that the briefcase is so fragile that it's going to be broken off easily, so he did. And look, Kenta was not very pleased at all. So, with that, Jay White did mindfully give Ibushi his briefcase back, but nope, he took that briefcase off. So, and he said, "Not yours, and that's where he came off. That's where Bullet Club left, and of course, Chase did attack Gabriel Kidd, of course, for no obvious reason. Bullet Club don't like the young lions, but I digress on it. Anyway, then you have is your typical tag team match. Tetsuya Naito and Sonata versus Evil and Yujiro Takahashi with Dick Togo. I mean, not much to say. This is your typical back and forth action we saw on the last night's or last morning, whatever you call it, yesterday's show. Not much except for you have Naito got his mouth busted open, bleeding and all. And of course, Evil did push Sonata off the barricade, which actually bounced off the ring announcing table. Like, damn, that's really crazy, you guys. So at the end, Naito did pin Yujiro with the Destino, and LAJ defeated Bullet Club. So, typical match, but yeah. Anyway, and then you have your main event match. You have is the IWGP Tag Team Championship match, which you have Sakura Champ representing Suzuki-gun, Dangerous Tekker, Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. versus representing Chaos, Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto. So that match was so awesome. Even though it was like a slow start in the beginning, but the way that it goes with both teams, that they're trying to make sure they're trying to set the name for each other. Yoshihashi with his face off with Taichi, you could tell that Yoshihashi is like the rising star of New Japan. Even though he was with New Japan for 12 years, but he is like one of those breakout stars. So you have a lot of like running power bombs to Yoshihashi doing a swanton, which we haven't seen it as often, you guys. And of course, at the end, Zack Sabre Jr. and Taiji did the tag team finisher to Zack LaFisto, and that's where Taiji pinned Yoshihashi, and of course they retained the IWGP Tag Team Champion. And afterwards, of course, Yano, being PO, left the commentary booth and he unbuckled all of the pads while everybody was down. And so Yano, without a doubt, made an unexpected speech. Well, he's like, yeah. So we couldn't understand what he's saying until that Reshu Unimo actually translated to Zack Sabre Jr., which, okay, that's kind of pretty admirable for him. Maybe that's his job. You gotta help some of the Star Wars in the Western or different countries that kind of don't understand the language, had to translate it. So pretty much, Yano did announce that he's going to issue Zack Sabre Jr. for the Professional King of Pro Wrestling 2020 trophy. And the speculation is a no turnbuckles match. That's right. Think of Josh Barnett Bloodsport. Yeah, you guys, that's the match that y'all saw it on the Collective Weekend. That's going to be the speculation match. So Zack did cut a brief promo, really upset, and he said he'll accept it. That's right. And right when Taiji was trying to cut his victory speech, Zack Sabre Jr. is still upset. He ran up, grabbed the chair, and he threw the chair. Being all upset, he yelled, everybody screamed. So he came back in, Taiji trying to calm him down, but no, Zack is very PO, straight up PO. So Taiji did his, still usual victory speech and then promote about the World Tag League, and that's it. But I know that, right when they did the post-match interview, Zack Sabre Jr. said that Yano is a very disgrace. How dare he cut it? He cut a promo right when they were about to do a victory speech, and he's calling him a joke, and that's it. So, there you have it, you guys. That is the episode that is the Power Struggle Tour tour before the Power Struggle Tour finale that took place on November 7th. Of course, it's already been happening, you guys. So, yeah, y'all. So, thumbs up, thumbs out. This show, I feel it's kind of a little bit slow pace for it, too, but I'm still going to give it a generous 1.5 thumbs up, you guys. But here you go, you guys. Y'all been waiting for this. We're done with the results and my thoughts. Let's go ahead and announce the participant. So, New Japan Pro Wrestling did announce the best of the Super Junior 27 participant, which the event's going to be taking place November 15 to December 11. Especially will be same thing as the World Tag League, which the World Tag League has not been announced yet, but I know there's going to be already announced during the intermission for the Power Struggle Tour finale, which I'll give my thoughts. I know there's going to be a lot of bracketology going on, so just be prepared. Maybe on the next episode Into the Stratusphere, if it's already been announced, we'll see. So, for now, the participant. So, for the participant for the Best of Super Junior 27, you have is representing New Japan Unit, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Master Wato. Wato, that is right. Wato's debut. And then you have is representing LIJ, Hamaru Takahashi, and Bushi. Representing Suzuki-gun, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, El Desperado, and Doki. Representing Bullet Club, your current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Taiji Ishimori. And representing Chaos, one half of Roppongi 3K show, and making his return since the whole pandemic happens, Robbie Eagles. That is right. That is your full participant for the Best of Super Junior 27. And I couldn't have been more happier. Especially, we get to see the return of Robbie Eagles, y'all. So I'm glad that he's going to be back. I know they kind of eased their travel restriction for Australia to Japan. Especially Japan has certain country limited to travel back and forth and whatnot. But hey, y'all, it's all good, but glad that Robbie Eagles is going to be back. I know he's going to be currently in quarantine at the moment, but hey, y'all, it's all good. So I'm so excited. Right after this, there's more, you guys. New Japan Pro Wrestling USA, one night event. Super J Cup 2020 is back. That tournament has a very special place in my heart because that's where I went to the Night 2 event at SF State last August. And especially that was kind of like a mood booster because I talk about briefly, last August wasn't even the best month for me, especially mentally. New Japan show actually did resonate my mood and everything, but digress on it. So, here it is, you guys, your participant. Representing the LA Dojo and the winner of the 2020 Young Lions Break Crown, Clark Connors. Freelancer who wrestles for Impact Wrestling, TJP. GCW star, Blake Christian. Freelance stars, ACH. And now, debuts. Making their debut, Impact Wrestling star, the Finesse himself, Chris Bay. Ring of Honor star, which you may know him formerly in MLW and on Lucha Underground, Ray Horace, formerly known as El Dragon Azteca. Former WWE superstar, Leo Rush, and y'all get ready. Making his return, your last year's 2019 Super J Cup winner, representing Bullet Club, El Fantasmo. There you have it, you guys. The participant for the Super J Cup 2020. That's going to be taking place on December 12th, which is on a Saturday. I'm so excited to cover this show, especially give you guys overall thoughts about it. I'm very impressed with the participant, especially like how much I did mark out for Chris Bay. He definitely deserved this opportunity. So this is a very, very exciting moment for everybody in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and especially in the world of wrestling too. I'm so excited for this. I cannot wait to do the bracketology for like my picks and overall winners and all that stuff. You know, like some of us may know who will win the Super J Cup, but we'll have to speculate and see it. So anyway, y'all, with that being said, that is it for the coverage for New Japan Pro Wrestling style. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and we're going to hear from Philip of Chicle TV.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Philip here. Look, there are so many channels out there on YouTube that do pranks and challenges and funny videos like That Just Happened TV, Nelk, and Love Live Serve. But why don't you look up Chicle TV? Yes, Chicle TV. Chikle TV. It is a channel I started with my buddy Vinny a couple years ago, and we've done wrestling finishers in public. He's done eating challenges. We've done pranks to people. It's a whole lot of fun. You know, when you go to YouTube, it is the thumbnail with the guy blowing the bubble. It says Chicle TV right in the bubble. And look, you know, just sit down, relax, hop on YouTube, look up Chicle TV, and
ooh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Crack open a little bit of the bubbly. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Chicle TV. Like, share, subscribe. It is the freshest channel on YouTube.
Alright, you guys, and we are back. So let's go ahead and kick it off with the recap from Impact Wrestling that took place on Election Day, Tuesday, November 3rd. And I must say, this is their better show than their last week's show because last week I feel that it was so hokey and it's like more gimmicks, less of these whole like wrestling actions alike, especially they were focusing on this whole Johnny Bravo, Rosemary's Wedding. But this one, I feel they did it far less of it, which is perfect, and more focus is on like promoting their upcoming Impact Plus exclusive Turning Point. So you have the opening video package of the typical, like, you know, Johnny Bravo's Rosemary's Wedding. Of course, Johnny Bravo being the typical groomzilla, if you call it. Kind of, it's a male equivalent of a bridesmaidzilla, so it's a groomzilla. And then leading up to who shot, like, Johnny Bravo, of course. And then, of course, the infamous quote, I have a bad feeling about it, which is the inspiration from the last episode of Into the Stratusphere, y'all. But anyway, opener, like, I'm going to say this right now because I'm not going to talk about this whole who shot Johnny Bravo. So, yeah, it was Tommy Dreamer being a detective. And he told Scott D'Amore that he'll take care of the case. And Scott D'Amore is, he's kind of very aggravated with, who shot Bravo and stuff. And he's happy to report that Johnny Bravo is in critical but stable condition. Well, unfortunately, he is in a medically induced coma. So, yeah. And so, this whole, you have this whole, segment, of course. Tommy Judo did integrate, Cody Deaner and Johnny Swinger, and then he's trying to integrate everybody that is involved, like Havoc, Taya Bakri, Rosemary, that one referee who called Johnny Swinger's and Fallah Bah's match, of course Fallah Bah, Larry D, Hernandez, and I guess whichever. So I'm glad they did less of who shot Johnny Bravo segment and just more focus on heavy hitting on each of the storyline that's been taking place, especially Turning Point, the Knockouts Tag Team Tournament that's going to be taking place less than 2 weeks away, and what's next for each of the storylines. So I'm happy about that. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start off with the Knockouts Championship match, which is the current champ Su Yung versus Deonna Purrazzo with Kimberly. That match lasted only 4 minutes and almost 50 seconds, y'all. And it was a pretty decent match to say so. And a lot of heavy hitting moveset. Deonna Purrazzo with the typical technical moveset, even though she did try to avoid Su Yung with the mandible claw, which she still have that raggy glove on. But hey, she is the undead bride, y'all. So, and then, of course, it is a lot of offensive moveset from Su Young's end, and it was pretty much awesome, pretty much typical knockout standards match. Of course, Su Yung was about to do the mandible claw until Kimberly did through the chair, and as Su was looking dead straight at her, Deonna was about to grab the chair until Su Youngev. It's kind of like a tug of war until Su accidentally hit Deonna on her midsection. Of course, the referee did call the end in a DQ. And afterwards, Su did attack Kimberly with the chair and then kick Deonna with the chair, and as she stands strong. So then afterwards, after you have this typical Heath and Rhino and Scott D'Amore contract situation, which, spoiler alert, Heath and Rhino walked off and he said he'll be back because he wasn't even sure, and plus he had to deal with his hernia that he sustained an injury at Bound for Glory, which I'm happy to report. I just want to let y'all know Heath did issue a statement on Instagram that he does not need surgery, y'all. So I'm happy that he's gonna be healing up in whatever he can, but no surgery has been required. So thank goodness. But wishing Heath nothing. Best of luck on his recovery. Just want to let him know. So after Heath and Rhino left, out comes Deonna Purrazzo's lawyer, R.D. Evans, which happens to work behind the scenes with Impact Wrestling. So he told Scott what's going on, what's this all about with the match, and so Scott doesn't want to deal with the BS from R.D. Evans and the whole legal stuff, and he told him that they're going to have their match at Turning Point, and it's going to be a no DQ match. That is right. So, match has been already announced for Turning Point. Su Yung versus Deonna Purrazzo for the Knockouts title, no DQ match. So, there you have it. And then you have is, of course, Eddie Edwards and Rich Swann singing Eddie Edwards' theme song, which is so catchy. And they talk about they're preparing for their main event tag team match against Eric Young and Sami Callihan. Of course, they walk off, continue on to sing. And then next up, you have is a match between Chris Bay versus Trey Miguel. It was a pretty impressive X Division match for both guys. A lot of movesets too. You have Trey Miguel with the reverse 619, and then transition to a cutter. Chris Bay, your typical swinging, your swinging not swinging nut breaker. I forgot that moveset, but hey, it's more. But he did an impressive job for it. Tope Suicida, typical, and a lot of like offensive movesets to try to make sure. It was a kind of like not as much of a longer match as it is. So at the end, Chris Bay with the top rope cutter and pick up the victory, of course. And then afterwards, you have a locker room talk with Madison Rayne and Johnny Swinger. Of course, they did talk about that Swinger is cleared as a suspect, but spoiler, he is not cleared yet because of the mugshot photos. And then Madison Rayne did welcome Jordynne Grace and Tennille Dashwood with Caleb with the K, of course. And so Jordynne did discuss that she does not have a tag team partner after she had kind of like a falling out with Alicia Edwards after they lost their match against Tasha Steele and Kiera Hogan on the last week's episode of Impact Wrestling. And so she just played who's going to be needing a partner. So Tennille was like kind of hesitant, but then she made a last minute decision that she asked Madison Rayne to be her tag team partner because the way that she dressed, the way that Madison Rayne was, I believe she was a 5-time Knockouts champion. Correct me if I'm wrong. I gotta look on my research. And like how much like they kind of vibe their energy too. So Madison Rayne did accept it, and that's when Jordynne Grace did throw the phone after Caleb asked her to take a picture. She threw the phone and walked off. So there you have it. Tennille Dashwood and Madison Rayne are a tag team. My question is, if they're going to announce the Knockouts Tag Team Tournament, who's going to be the commentary for Madison Rayne? I don't want to hear Josh Matthews. Like, hello, with all due respect, I'd rather have another person alongside Josh Matthews. Are we going to be seeing the returning Don Callis? Unless if it's just for pay-per-view exclusive. No. How about, please, bring Matt Striker. I mean, Matt Striker did commentary with John Callis for the Impact Wrestling Explosion, which is exclusively only on Impact Plus or on Twitch. Yeah, have Matt Striker fill in for Madison Rayne. Like, come on now. I miss his commentary style though, so I just want to throw it out there. But yeah. Then afterwards, you have his Rohit Raju in the ring, cutting a promo as he's waiting for a fresh face for the Defeat Rohit Challenge. He said that he already defeated 5 people at Bound for Glory, and he's ready for some fresh face. Nope, out comes TJP in his street clothes, holding his Starbucks drink. That's right, Starbucks logo, everything. Product placement, everyone. And so TJP did cut a promo about like saying that he wants his opportunity. Rohit's a said opportunity, and he kind of playing his mind game regarding this whole word opportunity. So Rohit was very adamant, and he said that he already beaten him before, and his opportunity is better to get the hell out of way. And so TJP did cut his pretty much a heartfelt promo saying that he did wrestle in Mexico at the age of 18. He was the youngest star in New Japan Pro Wrestling with different opportunities. And he said, have you been a Super Junior? No, that's me. That's right. Kind of like a jab about the Super J-Cup situation and stuff. Of course, Cruiserweight Championship, WWE. He did not drop it, but he said Cruiserweight. Cruiserweight Champion, like he said. And how he overcome his struggles that the world couldn't, that he definitely beat the world and whatnot, especially with like showing who he got. So Rohit would say he's very impressed, but he does not care because he doesn't care about the past. He is the present, and he actually demanded him to leave because he really don't care. So TJP was about to walk off, but no, he just stand back. Rohit was telling him to leave, and that's where TJP did throw Rohit Raju on a Starbucks drink, which it looks like it's just a tea that is like under $2.50. I'm just saying because you know me and my Starbucks. So, yeah, and then they beat the crap out of each other until TJP did stand strong. And then afterwards, you have a backstage interview with Gia Miller asking Chris Sabian any update about Alex Shelley. So Chris said that Alex Shelley is okay, but he's going to be in recovery for some time. And so he just want to talk about his challenger, Triple XL, which Triple XL did like beat the holy hell of out of Alex Shelley's last week, and he won some retribution. So it looks like with Triple XL, they're actually going to get their push as they need it, because I know with Triple XL, they've been in a back burner kind of like as a lower card tag team. And of course, they were involved with Wrestle House and this whole like wedding preparation situation. So now it's their time to shine, and definitely they really deserve the push that they needed. So I'm glad they're actually going to get the push to have a rivalry against Motor City Machine Gun, even though it's just Chris Sabin, but this is something that will elevate their credibility for Larry D and AC Romero. So I'm for it, you guys. I'm really looking forward to their rivalry altogether. And of course, you have your typical backstage of TJP and Rohit Raju arguing back and forth, which you have Scott D'Amore in the middle, as Scott D'Amore is like trying to break an argument. After he hearing the plea, he say next week TJP will challenge Rohit Raju for the X Division title for one last time. That's right. If TJP lost, no more X Division title opportunity. One last time. That's it. So that way Rohit Raju can fight against any fresh faces. So that was the deal made. So you have this match that's been announced for next week, of course, which we'll get into that. And then you have is Ethan Page versus Luke Gallows. That's right. It was a pretty impressive match, I must say, especially a lot of like heavy hitting action. I mean, you have Josh Alexander alongside Ethan Page's corner, and then Carl Anderson alongside Luke Gallows. What's funny is that Luke Gallows did mock Ethan Page doing this karate pose like that, like kind of you see from the Karate Kid, kind of mocking Ethan Page's alter ego, the Karate Man, which I'm glad that Josh Matthews did actually stated during commentary for that. And so Ethan Page was trying to take a jab of it, but nope. Gallows did took a back face on him that shot him outside of the ring. So a lot of like interference going on, and then right when Luke Gallows was about to do his like super kick finisher, Josh did grab his ankle, but Carl did ran and attack Josh Alexander, and that's when Luke Gallows did the super kick finisher and he picked up the victory. And afterwards, right when before they announced the winner, Josh Alexander did attack Gallows, and that's when Carl Anderson did make the save, and that's where, of course, the Good Brothers did stand tall, no matter what. And then you have a backstage segment with Gia Miller interviewing Swoggle, as Swoggle did promote his book, his biographical book, Life is Short, So Am I, which the book actually released in last September of 2017. So he did promote that until Brian Myers came by and called him out, and then he kind of like bullied him and then pushed him out, and that's it. So nothing much to say, you guys, but yeah. And then out comes Moose entering the ring, and he did kind of promo say like nobody's not talking about the old school TNA World Championship title. Their only focus on is the current Impact Wrestling title. He did congratulate Rich Swann, but the title is the second best, as he learned how to control the narrative, and he said that here he beat like anyone in pay-per-views. Here he defeated Rob Van Dam. Here he defeated Rhino. Here he defeated who else did he defeat? Tommy Dreamer, and he defeated EC3 at Bound for Glory, even though to me it's still not a match. I just want to say that, y'all, so I digress. So Moose said everyone only talks about the title, and saying that he wanted to make sure he wanted to set the name for the title, but the only person he showed an example for pain is how much he did beat the crap out of Willie Mack last week. But then out comes Willie Mack, and that's where him and Moose did start beating the holy crap out of each other, until Moose was standing strong, as beating the crap out of him, punching him, and then he grabbed the camera cord and started strangling a little bit to Willie Mack. So the feud is still continuing on, y'all. Anyway, so then right when instead you have is the main event match in Rich Swann and Eddie Edwards versus Eric Young and Sami Callihan, which prior to that, Rich Swann was getting ready to have a match until Chris Bay came by and convinced him, can you talk to Impact Management if you want to challenge him for the Impact World title, like, Chris Bay versus Rich Swann. So Rich said that he has to earn it first, especially like he had to set an example. But then Chris was still talking until Eddie Edwards cut him off and told Rich, "Are you ready for the match?" He's like, "Yeah," and they sing along while Chris Bay left clueless. So here it is, the main event match, and that was a pretty good tag team match. I know with Eddie Edwards, he once was a tag team specialist. I mean, hello, the American Wolves. Anyone? So seeing him like being as a tag team specialist kind of like brings back some of like the memory, especially like how he does making sure that he cannot pin, but he wanted to continue on with like the different move sets too. So one of the impressive part is Rich Swann was about to do the dive, but he actually kind of like bounced back as Eddie Edwards did the surprising tope suicida to Eric Young. And of course, there's like a lot of animosity going on with both teams alike. And of course, Eric Young and Sami Callihan was about to do a package pile driver in stereo until like both babyfaces did counter, and that's where Rich Swann and Eddie Edwards did the single Boston Crab submission in stereo until EY did briefly counter, somewhat broke off the pin from Eddie Edwards and push him off to break the submission. So yeah, Eddie Edwards was about to do the backpack stunner 2 counts, and then he did the single Boston Crab leg until out of nowhere, Impact Wrestling Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock came out, causing the distraction by beating the crap out of Rich Swann, and then Sami Callihan with the roll of roll 2 counts, and then the pile driver to pick up the victory. So there you have it, guys. That is the main event match, and it looks like we're going to be seeing an alliance been formed between Eric Young, Sami Callihan, and Ken Shamrock. Which, you guys, I'm for it. I think this is going to be a way that, like, for these, if you wanted to develop a tag team, you need to have, like, a strong heel. I mean, we don't want to see, like, the same tag team, but something fresh. Like, Eric Young and Sami Callihan as a tag team, I think they actually did work pretty well together. They understand one another, especially having Ken Shamrock behind them. So, I think we'll be seeing a faction very soon, but who knows? With that being said, you guys, that is it for the recap for Impact Wrestling. So for next week's episode of Impact Wrestling, you have is Josh Alexander will be facing Carl Anderson. Then you have is Rohit Raju versus TJP for the X Division title. And this is TJP's final shot. That's right. And then you have a tag team match where Tennille Dashwood and Madison Rayne with Caleb with the K versus the team of Havoc and Nevaeh. And you have is AC Romero with Larry D will be taking on Chris Sabian. So that is for next week's episode of Impact Wrestling. Now for my thumbs up and thumbs down. So as I stated before, I feel this is like their episode was like a little bit better than last week's episode. I feel like they didn't put too much emphasizing of the gimmick for that, so I was very blown away with that. I'm going to give a generous 1.5 thumbs up. It was a pretty good episode. Great story line developing, especially for the Knockouts Tag Team Tournament. And for the, what you may call it, Turning Point. That's right. With that being said, everyone, let's go ahead and kick off, closing it with the prediction for AEW's Full Gear, which is going to be less than 24 hours away. And like I said, I'm actually going to be challenging for the Bulletcast title. So, boys, you better bring your A game no matter what. And this sun is kind of like blinding me a little bit, so I have to put the windows down so that way there's no sun glaring. If you guys are watching it on YouTube. Anyway, so here are the cards. So for the buy-in, you have is the NWA Women's Championship match, which is the current champ, Serena Deeb, versus the free agent herself, Allison K. I picked Serena Deeb to retain the title. Then you have is Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page for the tournament finale to determine the number 1 contendership for the AEW World Championship, and I'm going with Kenny Omega. Then you have the AEW Women's Championship match, current champ Hikaru Shida versus Nyla Rose. I'm going with Hikaru Shida to retain, and the reason why, because I feel that with Shida, the next opponent that is really overdue, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Then you have his Orange Cassidy versus representing Dark Order, John Silver, aka Johnny Hungy. I'm sorry, his whole Johnny Hungy name is kind of like so catchy as hell. Like, and plus, I feel like he is like the breakout star of AEW too. But unfortunately, he's not my pick. I'm going with Orange Cassidy. Then you have is Cody Rhodes versus Darby Allin for the TNT Championship match. I'm going with Cody to retain the title because the reason why, I feel with Cody, he just needed, there's more opponents for him, and I feel like the next challenger he could definitely face, there's a lot. I feel one person, Pac. That's all I can say, but hey. With all due respect with Darby Allin, I don't see him as a champion, but as it is, but like something that is like, you know, pretty much a little bit notable. So that's why I choose Cody. Then you have is Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara. I'm going with Matt Hardy on this match. And I hope this isn't the ending of this curse because of what happened, y'all. And hopefully it better not happen just like at All Out. I'm just saying. Then you have the AEW World Tag Team Championship match, which you have the current champ FTR versus the Young Bucks. I'm actually going to be going with the Young Bucks to be the new champion because I feel there's a lot of like stacked tag teams. Especially there's like so many incredible challengers. So if the Young Bucks are the champ, they could take out any of the tag teams. So there you have it. Then you have Chris Jericho versus MJF. And if MJF beat Chris Jericho, who is the member of the Inner Circle, honestly, I feel this is going to become some kind of a shenanigan and maybe an accident, especially about Wardlow. So, therefore, I'm going with Chris Jericho to beat MJF, despite the fact that Jericho did say something really stupid on Twitter regarding politics. That's all I can say, y'all. And I can see that there's probably going to be like an accident between like MJF and Wardlow. And then you have is Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley for the I Quit match for the AEW World Championship match. I'm going to be the odd women's out, you guys, and I'm going to explain my reasoning. I'm going with Eddie Kingston to be the new did I say NW? AEW World Championship match. The reason why, because Jon Moxley is still the IWGP United States champion. Dominion is less than 2 months away. And I know that Moxley needs to defend his United States title in Japan. Because of the restriction and the requirements to go overseas, you know, I feel that it's best that Jon Moxley needs to drop the title. So that way he can focus on New Japan for the time being and for the title. Especially setting up a build-up feud, whether it's Kenta or Tanahashi. Which, by the way, Kenta versus Tanahashi's match is already happening on a Power Struggle Tour, which we don't know who's the clear-cut winner for the IWGP United States contract. So just wanted to leave it out there. And with Eddie Kingston, I feel that he can definitely hold on to the title for the short time. And the next challenger, of course, Eddie Kingston versus Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega beat Eddie Kingston at like some regular AEW Dynamite show. And then have a face-off between Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley at Revolution. That is my theory, y'all, but hey, I'm just a girl with a quote-unquote wishful thinking. But yeah, all I can say is, boys, including Huey, your current champ, good luck. You're gonna need it. And with that being said, that is it for the episode of Into the Stratusphere, y'all. Comment down below on the Bulletcast YouTube channel. And also, if you like to send me a DM, feedback, positive message, all that stuff. So you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter and my YouTube channel at simply_C_OK. That's SIMPLY. _C_OK. And like I said, subscribe to the Bulletcast YouTube channel, and also make sure to follow the Bulletcast on social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, whichever you're listening to in the podcasting platform, Anchor FM, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or whichever podcast forum, make sure to follow at the Bulletcast, y'all. With that being said, let's go ahead and close off this show altogether because, AEW Full Gear is about to start very soon, you guys. And I'm looking at the results. No clear-cut winner for who's the next leader, but that's all I can say. So, alright, guys. So, please remember to wash your hands 20 to 30 seconds. Practice social distancing. Wear your face mask or any face covering at all times. No excuses. And please remember, like I said as always, to remember to please be kind to one another. We're all in this together. Till then, I'll see you either on the recap of AEW Full Gear with Philip and Brandon, or maybe on the next episode of Into the Stratusphere. Cheers, y'all. And you're going down, boys. Good luck for the Bulletcast title.